weekends with Fierce, nothing quite like it. Live from Garden City in Bear Lake, Utah, this is Fierce Challenger Series 13, Battle at the Border, presented by Bet Openly. Hi, everyone. Blake O'Ruling alongside my man Eric Iman for this one. Just a two-man booth here tonight, but Eric, we got a good show ahead of us.
Great show, some great up-and-comers, and a Utah standout in Cole and Chu fighting for our main event. I'm pretty excited.
Going to be so much fun. Fireworks out of the floodgates. We're going to kick it off with Jackson Hoops.
All right, Mike, we're good to go now, man. Fierce fans, for those of you tuning into the pay-per-view and for those of you in attendance here at the Bear Lake Battle at the Border at Heritage Park in Garden City, Utah, welcome to Fierce Fighting Championship Challenge Series. Tonight's event is sanctioned by Pete Suazo, Utah Athletic Commission, with Executive Director Scott Bowler in attendance. Dr. Claire Tursack is also K-side this evening, along with timekeeper Tammy Patillo. The judges for the evening are Stephen Farragher, Richard Montanez, and Dan First, and the referee in charge the entire evening will be Tyler Tomlinson. Fierce fans, we are moments away from our first fight of the evening, but at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps as we honor our country with the singing of the national anthem. And of course, that big flag is right over there if you'd want to draw your attention to that. Oh. Proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? All right, Fierce fans, we have now arrived to what you all came here to see. 18 mixed martial artists, 9 total fights for one Fierce Fighting Championship evening. So Fierce fans, let the fighters in the tents know that you are here. Put your hands together and make some noise. Yes, sir. Our first fight of the evening, it is sponsored by 3H Paving. As a member of the Bear Lake community, they want to serve their neighborhoods and businesses with enduring asphalt work that enhances the quality of their town. They've solidified their promise with their 5-year asphalt warranty and believe in doing work that lasts. A little effort goes a long way when paving asphalt. While transforming roads, driveways, and more with a legacy of local excellence, they don't just pave asphalt, they build trust at 3H Paving. Fierce fans, put your hands together, make some noise, and welcome our first 2 fighters, Norberto Ortiz and then Dusty Cox, to the cage.
So special about me, you can already tell the energy is different. Confidence is at the highest level, I don't never see it dipping. Try me if you want to guarantee, though you gon' wish you hadn't did it. That's a word that you can never win, but hey, I like the optimism.
2 years out of operation, but back is Norberto Ortiz. Eric, despite a striking skill set far beyond his record shows, still has not found his way into the win column, which he looks to change here tonight.
I would guess that he's been in the gym sharpening his tools and hopefully we look to see a much improved Norberto tonight.
Yeah, I mean, both of his MMA and kickboxing bouts have gone to the scorecards, possibly might be headhunting, not wanting to leave it to the judges, given he's 0-1 in both disciplines. Norberto Ortiz out of one his first fight in 2 years. Excited to see where he's made a lot of those improvements. A lot of fighters on this card here tonight looking to make those improvements after long layoffs.
Well, the thing to remember is to make sure that you get better in the gym. You don't get better in camp. So having some layoff for some of these guys is really good for their skill set.
No doubt about it. Again, Norberto Ortiz, the 0-1 fighter from Layton, Utah, made the way up here to Bear Lake, just about a mile away from the border of Idaho. And with that, we are just about as north as we've ever gone without getting out of the state of Utah. Very excited for this one here tonight, Eric. 9 fights on the board, no intermissions, all gas, no breaks for us here at Challenger Series 13.
Yeah, we're going to pedal all the way through. It's a great venue, beautiful here.
Norberto Ortiz certainly has a surplus of attacks. Interested to see how he fares here tonight. All right, second to make his way towards the cage, enter Dusty Cox. Eric, only 7 months in, but got the green light from his coach to make this debut here tonight.
I'm excited to see him in his gym, and I'm excited to see what they do. I'm not familiar with the gym, but I definitely want to see what their skill set is and see how they perform tonight.
A lot of his coach's faith is coming from his wrestling base. 6 years spent on the mats, placed 4th his junior year in high school in terms of wrestling. So very excited to see where the grappling is.
Yeah, and as we all know, wrestling is one of the best bases you can have for MMA. So, and having that competition, especially 6 years in, he'll be used to a crowd and some things like that.
Dusty Cox, training out of Outlaw MMA, one of 2 on this card here tonight. His teammate Michelle Alquist will be facing off against Lacy Vasquez later on tonight. Been training 7 months up in Casper, Wyoming. Very excited to see how things fare here tonight. We're going to go ahead and pull up that tail of the tape presented by Prime Labs between Norberto Ortiz and Dusty Cox to kick this one off at 155 pounds. Norberto Ortiz, 7-year senior, 26 years old. Ortiz stands 2 inches taller. Ortiz also weighing in at 154.5 pounds. Cox weighing in well under at 149.5 pounds. Ortiz with a record of 0-1. Cox making his debut here tonight. With that, let's jump inside to Jackson Hopes.
All right, Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by 3H Paving. This fight is an amateur lightweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, and when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner. Holding an amateur record of 0 wins and 1 loss, he stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighed in at 154.5 pounds. Fighting out of One Hit MMA, hailing from Roy, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Norby Ortiz. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, making his amateur debut, he stands 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighed in at 149.5 pounds, fighting out of Outlaw MMA, hailing from Glen Rock, Wyoming. Fierce fans, make some noise for Dusty Pretty Boy Cox.
First of 18 tonight is Dusty Cox in the red gloves. Back at it is Norberto Ortiz in the blue. This amateur lightweight bout to kick off Fierce Challenger Series 13 is brought to you by 3H Paving, transforming roads, driveways, and more with a legacy of local excellence. 3H Paving, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Tyler Tomlinson, third man in the cage here tonight. All 9 assignments will go to him. Busy man inside the larger cage tonight for a Challenger Series. First time we're doing that. Dusty Cox opens up with a leg kick. Cox as expected, jumps in on the takedown. Ortiz immediately jumps to that guillotine. It looks to be tight, Eric.
It does look tight. He tried to use it as a reversal, but ended up back on his back, but still landed in a decent position for the submission, it looks like. Hard to see where the hands are.
Grappling immediately initiated, and with that, 30 seconds in, Dusty Cox in a little bit of trouble. Ortiz now changing up the grip. Cox staying valiant on top.
I'd like to see Cox get the, there it is, put the hand up on the elbow and push Norberto's arm down. He got his head out, though.
Dusty Cox told me he wants to be a moving target for Norberto. Right now, not a lot of movement considering Cox on top. Norberto Ortiz, last fight March 19th of 2022, was a split decision loss. But that being said, when you look at the scouting report, Eric, he has gone a full 9 minutes, definitely used to being in there.
I'd like to see him try to shrimp or hipscape out of this and create some distance and be able to get some more offense.
Cox trying to open up with that. Ortiz finds his way to the mount.
Right as soon as I say it, he sweeps him.
Ortiz grapevining, one leg trying to limit the mobility of the Wyoming fighter. Cox looked to fight his way up, opened up a couple of targets. Ortiz makes the most of it.
Some good strikes landed there by Ortiz.
As much mobility as he can find in it. Ortiz making it messy, and with that, Tyler Tomlinson calls this one. Norberto Ortiz back after 2 years and is going to get the first win of his amateur MMA career.
Definitely impressed with his ability to stay calm and composed and just worked his game plan. He did a great job.
Lots of questions coming into this one. Norberto Ortiz and Dusty Cox. Dusty Cox, obviously a very, very strong resume in terms of his wrestling. Norberto Ortiz makes the most of it, ground and pounding his way to the first round TKO victory. And Eric, more than anything, really just never found in a bad spot.
No, not at all. Even when he was underneath, he made sure he kept himself safe. He tied it up, worked the submission, then tied up the arm so he wasn't taking any punishment, and swept him. It was textbook.
Just about ready to go inside. We'll kick it to Jackson Hoops to make this one official.
All right, Fierce fans, referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes and 15 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by TKO out of the blue corner, Norberto
away. It seems like you hadn't missed a step at all in there. What was the preparation like for this one?
You know, I just have such a great gym, great coaches. Jordan, Aldo, Gustavo. We have such great fighters. I just keep you top of your game. Ahmed, Cole, such amazing fighters at our gym that it took me no time to get back to where I was and go back to performing.
Any family, friends, sponsors you want to give a thank you to?
All my friends that came out, thank you so much. You know, one hit.
First victory of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Norberto Ortiz.
Hey Fierce fans, Kibble Davis here with Prime Labs. We are now the official lab testing partner for all of Fierce Fighting Championships fighters. We provide a combat trio for all fighters across the Wasatch Front, as well as if you want to get in the best shape, like one of your favorite fighters, we provide many comprehensive blood panels. All you have to do is click on the link or text 385-645-7400.
Whether you're a fighter or just someone that wants to take charge of their own care and looking to address a lack of sleep, fat gain, or even muscle growth, Prime Labs has different panels for all financial situations. So please shoot us a text at 385-645-7400, scan the QR code, or please go to the website and come check us out.
Hi, I'm Jason Laporte, Fierce Fighting Championship commentator and General Sales Manager at Performance Honda in Bountiful. We are the fastest growing Honda dealership in the state, and we have one of the largest certified pre-owned inventories in the state of Utah. Our service department has master technicians with over 100 years experience collectively.
Bienvenidos a Performance Honda Bountiful, donde los atendemos en español y les ponemos una sonrisa todos los días.
Visit us at 2215 South 500 West or performancehondabountiful.com.
They have achieved to make things better at Staker Parsons Companies. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome Aiden, Egler, and then Zahan Amoria to the cage.
Well, he was met with a frantic pace in the first time around. Back en route is Aiden Egler. Eric, a calm composure claimed him his first win back in April, south of 90 seconds.
Well, and you know, on your first fight, that's one of the main key components, right? Because the nerves are always going to attack you. So if you can stay calm and stick to your game plan and fundamentals, you're going to be much better off.
Finished that one with a rear naked choke. We'll see if the A-grade grappling holds up. Down 10 pounds for this fight. His first one was contested at 145. Tipped the scales yesterday at 135 pounds.
Yeah, we'll see if the weight cut makes any difference in his conditioning or anything, if this goes deeper into the rounds. But we'll be excited to keep watch. He's got a great gym, so they know where he's at.
Aiden Egler wrestled throughout high school, 2 years of jiu-jitsu, on top of nearly a year now clocked in with the Agima fight team, a regular with them, and obviously you see the heavily tenured corner of Agima, Dana Risazabo, Marco Sanchez, Court McGee as well. So many of them. However, I am seeing this, Eric, no Apollo Creed shorts tonight.
They're my favorite. If I ever fight again, I have to come out in some Apollo Creed shorts.
I know that was a big fan favorite for not only you, but so many others. We see the blue belt strapped around, though. Nice little design there as well for Aiden Egler as he heads into his sophomore slate. Well, there's a first time for everything, and at 47 years old, enter Zahan Amoria. Eric, a mountain guide who had a near-fatal accident in 2020, and following the recovery, he found martial arts 3 years in. He says he feels better than he did in his 20s.
Well, being 46 myself, I can tell you that that's a tall order to get ready for one. But I did have one of my original Thai coaches from Fairtex tell me you always had 10 years. So no matter when you started, you had 10 years to fight.
Eric, this might hit close to home for you. His 19-year-old son is accompanying him in his corner here tonight as well. Seems like just 7 days ago you were doing something very similar.
Very similar. you know, my son Kane, he did a great job, and I was very privileged to coach, and it was an excellent night again with the Fierce Challenger Series.
All right, let's go ahead and pull up that tail of the tape for this amateur bantamweight bout between Aiden Egler and Zahan Amoria. Amoria, 47 years old, the oldest fighter in Fierce Fighting Championship history to make the walk, and also the largest age discrepancy in Fierce Fighting Championship history. 25 years between these two. You can put two Aiden Eglers, still not older than Zahan Amoria. Amoria, 1 year senior. Weighing in yesterday was Aiden Egler at 135. Amoria weighed in at 134.5 pounds. That weight is unfortunately incorrect. We apologize for that. But again, Amoria at 134.5 pounds. Egler with a record of 1-0. Blank slate on the other side for Amoria. With that, let's go inside for the intros with Jackson Hopes.
This fight is sponsored by Staker Parsons Companies, and this fight is an amateur bantamweight bout scheduled for three-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an undefeated record of 1 win and 0 losses. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighed in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Akima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Saratoga Springs, Utah, by way of Sycamore, Illinois. Fierce fans, make some noise for Aiden Edler. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, making his amateur debut. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed in at 134.5 pounds. Fighting out of Jackson Hole MMA, hailing from Jackson, Wyoming, by way of Shimla, India. Fierce fans, make some noise for Zahan Amoria.
Sophomore slate for Aiden Egler in the blue gloves. First rep for Zahan Amoria, who will swing with red. This amateur bantamweight bout is brought to you by Staker Parson, the preferred source of quality sand, rock, landscape products, ready-mix concrete, asphalt, paving, and construction services. Staker Parsons, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Egler immediately takes control of the cage. Swinging overhand right and immediately takes down the older fighter. Straight into the action, Aiden Egler. Sophomore slate successful. He's going to move to 2-0.
Great work out of Aiden.
Aiden Egler getting it done in no time at all. Eric, extremely effective here tonight.
Yeah, Amoria, you know, hats off to him at 47 to take on a new I don't know, a new hobby. I don't know what to call it at 47, but you know, hats off to him for having the courage to do it. Aiden came out and looked great. I was already concerned about Amoria when he was throwing the kicks. His hands were down, so.
Zahan Amoria in his corner, just getting checked up by the doctors. An unfortunate way for the debut to open up, but all smiles on the other side for Aiden Egler. It looks as though we are just about ready to make it official. Quick handshake from Zach Partridge. And with that, we'll go over to Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, let's get these fighters into the middle. All right, here we go. Fierce fans, referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at 14 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by knockout, Aiden Edler. Aiden, how you feeling, man? What an incredible performance for you.
I'm feeling pretty good, man. Can't lie.
I got to ask you, what is the next step for you? Because you've been successful, a couple of finishes as well. What do you want next?
Just keep fighting. Honestly, I think I'm going to stay at bantamweight from now on. I started at featherweight, but I want to hunt for the belt. Obviously, my teammate just won it, so I don't want to fight him. But you know, eventually that's the goal.
Cannot wait for that as well. But Aiden, when we're talking about the weight class a little bit, how much better did you feel at 35 versus 45?
It wasn't about really feeling better. It was just I felt small at the other weight class. I felt like this was better fit for me, and it was. I mean,
look great tonight. Aiden Egler, everybody.
All right, Mike, go ahead. We're going to toss out some swag here from Staker Carson Companies before we get to the next. So everybody be standing up. Get ready for some swag to come your way. Here we go.
Hey Fierce fans, Kibble Davis here with Prime Labs. We are now the official lab testing partner for all of Fierce Fighting Championships fighters. We provide a combat trio for all fighters across the Wasatch Front, as well as if you want to get in the best shape, like one of your favorite fighters, we provide many comprehensive blood panels. All you have to do is click on the link or text 385-645-7400.
Whether you're a fighter or just someone that wants to take charge of their own care and looking to address a lack of sleep, fat gain, or even muscle growth, Prime Labs has different panels for all financial situations. So please shoot us a text at 385-645-7400, scan the QR code, or please go to the website and come check us out.
Scan the QR code on your screen right now for access to Fierce FC's digital program. Get the inside scoop on every fighter making the walk tonight, as well as additional information on future shows. Back at Bear Lake, just about 28 minutes into this broadcast, already 2 fights in the books. Aiden Egler gets it done, Eric, in 14 seconds.
Yeah, he definitely knew his business. He went out and went to work. Coming from a gym of the caliber he's at, that's what you would expect.
Aiden Egler moves to 2-0. Lacy Vasquez, Michelle Alquist coming up next. Looks like we are just about ready to bring him out. With that, let's go to hoops.
Fierce fans, our next fight of the evening is sponsored by New Rock Asphalt Coatings. Based in northern Utah, their products and services meet municipal and commercial specifications. Whether you work in patchwork, parking lot maintenance, or driveway repairs, they have the new solution for you as an innovative manufacturer of asphalt preservations, products, and asphalt emulsions. They are always looking for new ideas, new solutions, new products, and new opportunities in their company and in your communities at New Rock Asphalt Coatings. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome our next 2 fighters, Michelle Alquist and then Lacy Vasquez, to the cage.
By an impressive record for the first time with Fierce, here is Michelle Alquist. Eric, her 5th walk in 11 months. She's averaged a fight every 53 days in that time frame.
That's a lot of fighting. I'm a proponent of taking some time off in between, but if you're not injured and you're improving, why not?
Michelle Alquist, the number 4 female fighter in the state of Idaho, testing the waters here in Utah. Very interested to see how she fares versus Lacy Vasquez, who hasn't fought in quite some time. We'll get a little bit more into that later on. But Michelle Alquist, talking a little bit about her again, another fighter out of Outlaw MMA. Dusty Cox just fought moments ago. She makes her presence felt promptly. All of her wins by first-round finish, all of them as well, Eric, under 2 minutes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if it goes past that, what she looks like, right? Can she adapt to the difference in timing, or does she come out and, like the house is on fire, and just try to put her down?
Michelle Alquist, we'll get more into this later on if the fight plays out, but all of her wins, again, being in the first round. That one loss is when she went to a decision, so anything past that first 3 minutes, we'll have to see how she fares. Well, it's been the longest layoff of her career. Happy to have her back is Lacy Vasquez. Eric, she's shown improvements with each walk, and despite the loss last time out, her movement and shot selection has never looked better.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which route she chooses, grappling forefront, or does she start striking and try to mix it up a little bit more? We'll be interested to see what her game plan is.
Lacy Vasquez, one of Utah's most active names last year, 6 competitions between kickboxing and MMA between 2022 and 2023 in a 13-month span. Now her first walk of 2024. Excited to see what's been upgraded in the arsenal. Also, a new team for her as well, fighting out of Agema.
Yeah, great team. You couldn't ask for some better coaches. I've done some sparring and stuff down there. It's a great gym.
Let's go ahead and pull up that tale of the tape presented by Prime Labs. Lacy Vasquez, Michelle Alquist for this one. Vasquez, 1-year senior at 34 years old, also will stand 1 inch taller. Vasquez tipping the scales at 126 pounds. Alquist at 123.5. Vasquez with a record of 1-2. Alquist, again, with a record of 3-1. Lacy Vasquez heads into the cage first time in 2024. Just about ready to get you primed for this one. Here is Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by New Rock Asphalt Coatings. This fight is an amateur flyweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, and when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 3 wins and 1 loss. She stands 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighed in at 123 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Outlaw MMA, hailing from Douglas, Wyoming, by way of Casper, Wyoming. Fierce fans, make some noise for Michelle Alquist. And introducing her opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an amateur record of 1 win and 2 losses. She stands 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighed in at 126 pounds. Fighting out of Agema Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Eagle Mountain, Utah, by way of Dallas, Texas. Fierce fans, make some noise for Lacy Fireball Vasquez.
Wyoming's Michelle Alquist in the blue gloves. Long layoff for Lacy Vasquez, answering in the red. This amateur flyweight bout is brought to you by New Rock Coating. For patchwork, parking lot maintenance, or driveway repairs, we have the new solution for you. New Rock Coating, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Fight number 3 of 9 here tonight. Again, no intermission. We will go straight through the entirety of the card as Lacy Vasquez opens up with a couple of punches. Alquist answers back. Vasquez able to bring her down to the bottom. On top, got her blue belt back in April of this year, Eric.
It almost looked like Alquist tried to do double overs and drag her down. I'm not sure if she has what her jiu-jitsu background is, but...
1 win by submission. It was December of last year. I also had in the scouting report for Alquist, initiates the clinch with immediacy. Typically likes to do that as she is active on bottom right now. Back up they go. Alquist. Couple of vicious knees up the middle.
From both fighters. Pretty impressed by Vasquez's strength. She just lifted Alquist up when Alquist was hanging onto her head.
Vasquez trades back, a couple of knees of her own. Right now, the pressure being felt by Alquist, looking for potentially a hip toss as well, Eric. Vasquez privy to it.
Vasquez needs to work her leg around the back of Alquist and fight the hands there, try to break that grip. But she wound up on top in the scramble.
Alquist with that bulldog grip rips Vasquez down. About 1:10 to work here, round number 1, in which we've gone back and forth from the ground, back up to the standing exchanges.
Again, just kind of deadlifts her up.
Vasquez wills her way back up, but now a compromised position with Alquist wrapped around the neck.
So when you're against the cage, you do not want your head below your opponent. You're going to have a hard time escaping that way. You want to try to get your body posture up and your shoulders over your hips more to this position, but you want to be sideways also.
Vasquez gets the head out of the sand trap.
And then back in.
And right back into it they go. Alquist going back to the well with those knees.
Oh.
Vasquez able to make her way to the back, and there it is. Another submission for Lacy Vasquez. She's going to move to 2-2.
Great work. Great work. Very composed.
Tough spot for her in jubilation on the side of Agema. Lacy Vasquez with the slick submission late in round number 1.
It was a good back and forth fight there too, so it wasn't like she just laid down.
Lacy Vasquez been on the short side of submissions in the past. Her debut back in March of last year was a loss in the 3rd round by rear naked choke, or not by rear naked choke, but by submission, I apologize. Now she's the one doing the damage, and another win notched in her record. Lacy Vasquez back once again. Certainly missed her as well.
Yeah, and I guess being at Agema, they're they're working on her submission ability too. So
all right, let's go ahead and make it official right now with the man in the blue suit. Here's Jackson Host.
Yeah, all right, Fierce fans, referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes and 47 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by submission due to rear naked choke, Lacy Fireball Vasquez.
I'm here with Lacy Vasquez. Lacy, I just heard you say over to Michelle, you hit super hard. How tough was that fight for you?
She does hit hard. She was a tough fight. So thank you, Michelle, for taking this fight.
How did you feel in there after a little bit of time away?
I feel good. It was a celebration of me choosing myself, and it felt so great to have a team behind me that's supportive and that loves me and that encourages me and lifts me up. So thank you to all my team. So, yeah.
Do you have any other friends, family, sponsors you want to give a thank you to as well?
My husband for holding down the fort with our kids. He's amazing. And I love my children, Tony, Rico, and Lola. And Tony, Mommy pulled it off. You said I would win it because I'm strong, and that meant the world.
She pulled it off, ladies and gentlemen. Lacy Vasquez.
Legendary Roofing, Utah's first choice in roofing. Call us today for a free quote. We're happy to help you protect your home with our free inspections and affordable roof installations. Our trusted installers serve the entire Wasatch Front year-round. We have the best roofers in the business. Our teams give you peace of mind with our professional installations. We take care of you from beginning to end with speed and excellence in making sure your investment in the roof of your home is safe and secure. We're craftsmen to the core. We treat your home with respect and give it the care it deserves. We're serving the entire Wasatch Front with knowledge, experience, and purpose. We have the finest craftsmanship, best pricing, and face-to-face customer service because we're Legendary Roofing, Utah's first choice in roofing. Call us today. Legendary Roofing.
When cutting weight, you lose more than just pounds. You lose vital hydration. Rush Hydro helps me get back in peak condition after sweat loss leaves me depleted. It was specifically engineered for athletes like myself who need quick hydration recovery. This drink has a special ingredient, clusterdextrin, which is formulated to help my body retain electrolytes, use them more efficiently, and support lasting energy. When it feels like a race to rehydrate, Rush Hydro helps me perform my best. Try hydration redefined at rushhydro.com.
Back in live from Bear Lake, Blake O'Rulian, Eric Iman, as we are cruising through this one. Another first round finish, this one for Lacy Vasquez, as we await for Chris Ventura and Eusebio Salis. With that, we'll kick it back inside to Jackson Host.
Fierce fans, our final fight of the preliminary card is sponsored by SOS Roofing. With their roofing services considered to be the best in the industry, SOS Roofing knows a high-quality roof protects everything of value in your home. They are highly qualified roofing experts bringing the knowledge and experience to make your new roof shine, backed by a 100% lifetime guarantee on any new roof installation. Their goal is to provide you with the peace of mind knowing your roof is protecting your largest investment, your home. Contact Utah's finest residential roofing contractor, SOS Roofing. Fierce fans, make some noise for the final two fighters of the preliminary card, Chris Ventura and then Eusebio Solace to the cage.
Well, some may say he was slighted in the first, but now a second walk ensues for Chris Ventura. Eric, a minuscule amount of cage time, but he moves like he's been at this for a lifetime.
So I've sparred with Chris. He's been in my gym. I've been down to a game and up to Park City to spar with him because he trains with Marco. And Marco's a great coach, and I got to tell you, Chris has some fantastic talent.
And you're not the only one. Widely respected by big names in the state. Mike Jones, Marco Sanchez, all have endorsed him. He moves like someone who's been at this for much longer than just a couple of years.
Yeah, he's it shows his athletic ability, and he's very smart when at least when he spars. My opinion, I was at the Idaho fight. I do think that he was slighted. I might be a little biased, but I'm excited to see him back in here.
Chris Ventura suffered an injury that sidelined him back in May, one of the many to be pulled off of that card, but happy to have him back. He has been so excited for this opportunity. I talked to him a handful of times yesterday at weigh-ins, just jonesing to get in there, chomping at the bit to enter that fierce cage.
Yeah, and I talked to him just briefly before, and he told me he was going to make sure we had some things to talk about.
Back in the MMA rule set, here is Eusebio Salis. Eric, only 2 MMA bouts, but 6 total between Muay Thai and kickboxing. Got reps in every rule set, looking for that first win in MMA.
Yeah, and, I know Chris's stand-up's really strong, too, so with his background, this could be a very, very exciting fight.
Eusebio Salis, 0-2 in kickboxing, 1-1 in Muay Thai, and then as you see on your screen, 0-1 no contest in MMA. Certainly been at this for quite some time, dating back to 2021. Let's go ahead and pull up that tail of the tape for this amateur lightweight bout between Chris Ventura and Eusebio Salis. Salis, 10-year senior at 33 years old. Chris Ventura will have the 3-inch height advantage at this lightweight bout. Both fighters tipping the scales identically at 156. 0-1 no contest for Ventura. On the other side, 0-1 no contest for Eusebio Salis. Eusebio Salis, similar to Chris Ventura, his last MMA bout was going well up until an inadvertent shot. For Salis, it was below the belt. For Ventura, it was to the head, but it lent to a no contest. Both fighters just wanting an opportunity to either get a win or a loss, something definitive, Eric.
Yeah, and to move forward, you've got to get some strikes in one of the columns, and I'm excited to see who wants it worse here.
All right, back inside to set the table. Here is Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, the final fight of the preliminary card is sponsored by SOS Roofing. This fight is an amateur lightweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, and when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 0 wins, 0 losses, and 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed in at 156 pounds. Fighting out of Rise Boxing and Classic Fight Team, hailing from West Valley City, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Chris Ventura. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an amateur record of 0 wins, 1 loss, and 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighed in at 156 pounds. Fighting out of Cache Valley MMA, hailing from Logan, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Eusebio Solace.
Another rep for Eusebio Salis in the red gloves. Back once again is Chris Ventura in the blue. This amateur lightweight bout is brought to you by SOS Roofing, offering all roofing services for your home. Request a free estimate today with SOS Roofing, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Ventura immediately opens up with a little bit of action. Salis throws a looping hook.
See that sharpness of footwork from Ventura already, moving in and out really well.
Picking his shots well. Target is open for Ventura. Salis trading back as well, Eric.
Yeah, Salis isn't backing down. I'd like to see a little more kicking from both these guys right now.
Ventura sends a stiff shot down the pipe as Salis looks for an uppercut. Chris Ventura also down 15 pounds for this one as Salis is on the back of Ventura. Eusebio Salis still searching for that. Ventura fighting the hands.
Chris needs to get that lock broke.
In a world of trouble, now fighting the hands, or I apologize, the feet.
Yeah. Oh.
There's the tap. Eusebio Salis making the most of this opportunity. He's going to move to 1-1 and 1 no contest.
Really smooth the way he took his back, like real cage savvy with the position they were in.
Eusebio Salis cracked on the feet, but able to find his way to the back and closes out this one in round number 1. Quick with it as well, Eric. As soon as Chris was starting to try to find a way to prop Salis off, comes away with the finish.
Yeah, and Chris was defending it well at first, and then when he went down to the feet, he stopped fighting the hands, and that's when it got locked in.
All right, let's go ahead and make it official with Jackson Hopes.
All right, Fierce fans, referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute and 9 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by submission due to rear naked choke out of the red corner, Eusebio Solace.
Eusebio, what a performance by you. How did you feel in there after a little bit of time away?
I felt nervous. I ain't gonna lie. It was nerve-wracking. I normally don't do MMA fights. I usually stick to Muay Thai. So a submission to me means a lot.
How much were you preparing and how nervous were you for a guy like Chris Ventura who really showed out in his debut?
We were preparing for a striking match, honestly, but I don't know. I saw his neck, I jumped on it, and came out with the win.
Can you kind of break down the submission a little bit for me? Because he did have some fight back, primarily fighting the hands and then a little bit of the feet as well.
Yeah, I felt like I wasn't fully in on that the headlock, so I had to jump off and then jump back on to rearrange my choke, and yeah, I got it done.
Any family, friends, anyone you want to give a thank you to?
I want to give a thanks to my my coach, my coaches, Cody and Kofi, my friends, my teammates, Mauro, Cara, Adam, Ebony, and everybody at Team CVMA. My dad, who always comes support me every single fight, and my friends and family back home. And I also want to take this time to glorify God, follow him. He's the truth, the peace, and the light, and the way. And thank you, Father, for giving me this victory.
Big win for him tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Eusebio Salis.
FST. Who is FST filtration? What is FST filtration? You see, FST is more than a filter company just trying to be cool. FST is a solution-based company in the heart of Utah, where hard work is embedded in its roots, and providing superior indoor air quality is our mission. FST has risen to the challenges that everyday people face. As new challenges present themselves, we too shall rise to the occasion. Manufacturing is the backbone of America, and our employees are the backbone of FST. So when choosing your next filter for your home or building, don't choose any filter. Choose FST. Small business, family owned, since 2001.
Scan the QR code on your screen right now for access to Fierce FC's digital program. Get the inside scoop on every fighter making the walk tonight, as well as additional information on future shows. Blake O'Rulian, Eric, I'm in Eric. We are less than 55 minutes into this thing. We have already run through the first 4 fights. 5 still remain, but it's been fun so far.
Yeah, it's been a great night. Real fast finishes, shows what these guys are doing in the gym.
All right, with that, we're going to go ahead and bring out the next pair with Jackson Host.
Fierce fans, our first fight on the main card, it is sponsored by MeterWorks. As a company that focuses on the business of water and solving utilities water metering needs, MeterWorks makes data actionable using effective software and hardware tools that are interconnected by a smart network with expertise and experience to support it. They save time, labor, water, and money through their innovative AMR and AMI systems. To set up a free demo and to put information into action, contact MeterWorks. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome the first 2 fighters on the main card, Jordan Jones and then Knox Taylor to the cage.
Nearly a full year removed from the debut, back is Jordan Jones. Eric, he impressed us with a slick submission in the final frame of his first fight. Only seems to have leveled up since last September.
Yeah, we'll see how if he gets into some striking here and see where his stand-up level is and if it goes along with his ground game.
Jordan Jones, similar to Lacy Vasquez, a former teammate, moved to Agima within the past year alongside, as I said, Lacy Vasquez, who just fought. Excited to see where the cracks have been filled for him. Again, his first fight with this camp.
Great camp, great group of guys. He has had to have gotten better.
Been successful 2-1 so far on the night. Aiden Egler and Lacy Vasquez getting their hands raised. Unfortunately, not the outcome Chris Ventura wanted, but right back to it is the most active gym in the state of Utah. 5 fighters out of Agima on this card here tonight, Eric.
Yeah, they're filling them up. They've got a lot of quality guys, and they have a great program.
Jordan Jones took some time to get his bearings, but once he did, it was one-way traffic in favor of him last September. A 3rd round submission via guillotine, or I apologize, a 1st round submission. But Jordan Jones, certainly one of the new names in the state of Utah. 2.5 years of training up to this point. Excited to see him in his 2nd ever MMA bout.
Jones sure looks calm.
Well, 69 seconds was all it took to take home victory number 1. Now back for more is Max Taylor. Eric, he kickstarted that show off right and looks to build with another win opposite Jordan Jones.
I'm not very familiar with Max Taylor, but I'm excited to see him fight.
If you remember, he was the one who had that first round KO over Dorian Ishmael at UVU just a couple of months ago.
I do remember. We called that fight. That was a big win.
And in that fight, he was met with a flurry of offense, but weathered the storm with ease. Wise beyond his years when in that cage. Certainly a solid debut and looking to match it here once again for Max Taylor. Let's go ahead and pull up that tail of the tape presented by Prime Labs. Max Taylor, Jordan Jones in this one. Taylor, the younger fighter by 8 years at 21 years old, also has the 1-inch height advantage coming into this one. Taylor tipping the scales at 168.5 pounds. Jordan Jones at 170.5. 1-0 on both sides between Max Taylor and Jordan Jones. One hit MMA, one of 2 fighters for them here tonight. Max Taylor being the first. Second will be Vince Wright fighting in our co-main event versus David Maggio fairly soon, inside the hour, and already at fight number 5. We're very excited to see this one between 2 welterweights. That does say professional welterweight. Unfortunately, that is a mistake. This is still an amateur bout. With that, we'll go inside to Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, welcome to the main card. Everyone tuning into the pay-per-view and everyone here at the Bear Lake Battle at the Border at Heritage Park in Garden City, Utah. Put your hands together and make some noise! Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by Meterworks, and this fight is an amateur welterweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an undefeated amateur record of 1 win and 0 losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches and weighed in at 170.5 pounds, fighting out of the Gima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Blackwood, New Jersey. Fierce fans, make some noise for Jordan Jones! And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, also holding an undefeated amateur record of 1 win and 0 losses. He stands 6 feet tall and weighed in at 168.5 pounds, fighting out of One Hit MMA, hailing from Farmington, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Max Taylor!
Heavy-handed Max Taylor rocking the red gloves, Jordan Jones on the other side in the blue gloves. This amateur welterweight bout is brought to you by Meterworks, focusing on the business of water and solving your water metering needs. Meterworks, an official sponsor of Fierce FC.
I'm not sure how you get your hair that white, but that's impressive.
I believe bleach is that correct?
That is uber bleach.
Couple of fun nicknames for One Hit MMA with Max Taylor when he does that to his hair. Opens up with a head kick.
Right off the gate, throws a high kick.
Straight down the pipe and going to action. Lightning fast is the one-hit fighter. Immediately taking him down, but Jordan Jones looking to reverse the position, finds himself in the guard of Taylor.
Good job by Jordan. The hip toss and Max Taylor was too high on the body, and Jordan recognized it and rolled him right over.
Taylor looking for that ankle pick, trying to pick his spots to get back up. Jones looking to attack. Lacing the legs a little bit is Max Taylor. Just heard out of the corner of Jordan Jones to not let him up. They certainly want this fight to take place on the ground as Jones continues to track down the fighter on bottom.
So if I'm Taylor, I would try to do what he's doing right now, work the cage, try to utilize the cage to get back to my feet just like that. Good textbook. Nice knee to break the exchange.
Jones backs up a bit, Again, Taylor with a lot of success early on as he opens up with a head kick. He'll slip, and Jones goes on the attack. Quick blitz, finds his way back to the center of the cage.
Jones methodical with his striking. Taylor definitely has the speed.
Max Taylor signed on the dotted line for this fight a little less than a month ago. We get a quick timeout by Tyler Tomlinson. A low blow, it looks like, due to the wincing of Taylor.
Something to think about with this outdoor fight is does that vinyl get slippery when it cools off?
It might. There definitely is that aspect to it, no doubt about it. Max Taylor seems to give the okay. We get a quick warning by Tyler Tomlinson, a veteran referee here in Utah. And Eric, you've had the opportunity to fight outside one time. This is Fierce Fighting Championship's first time outside since August of 2019.
Yeah, and the fight that I did outside was at the Raptor Stadium, and it was less than ideal. It was 100 degrees outside. It was awful.
Prefer inside?
I would prefer inside. This is much better conditions, I think.
Live at Bear Lake, just a few minutes away from incredible scenery. Back to the action we go as Taylor opens up with another leg kick.
You know, something else to think about during that short break for the low blow is if I'm Taylor, I want to get back to work because I do not want to cool off.
Temperature's cooling down. Jones slaps a couple of leg kicks down low.
Pretty slick with the outside-inside combination there.
Nice footwork by the Agema fighter. 35 ticks to go, round one of a possible three. Potentially could see stools for the first time here tonight. Lots of first-round finishes as of recent. Eric, back-to-back weekends, only one finish, or only one decision last week as well.
You know, if I'm Jordan, I would attack those legs because he is not doing anything to defend the kick.
10-second clapper did go. Couple of head-hunting shots thrown by both sides. And with that, we will see stools between these two. Max Taylor, a little bit winded it seems like. Some heavy breathing out of his side as we'll go over to Jordan Jones to start. Eric, your thoughts on his round?
You know, pretty impressed with Jordan's ability to switch his feet and throw the kicks the way he was, especially at the end of that round. Taylor came out, Max Taylor came out like the house was on fire and then kind of immediately cooled off. So I'm interested to see with a little bit of a breather how this one continues.
Court McGee heading the corner of Jordan Jones. They're standing just a couple of seats down from us, and we can hear that they really do want to initiate primarily the grappling. They know Taylor is as explosive as they come given that 1:09 finish last time out. But Eric, safe to say, Max Taylor has never seen this point of a fight. Obviously, that first fight only lasting about 69 seconds.
Well, and also interested in seeing his body position there at the end. He wasn't firing off a lot, and Jones was kind of walking him down.
A little bit more wind in his sails. Again, live right now from Bear Lake. Temperatures seem to be cooling down here significantly as the sun continues to go down. 69 degrees at present here at Garden City. And Eric, as the night goes on, that will be more and more prevalent for these fighters to make sure that they can stay warm.
Yeah, it's going to be, you know, the old adage is if you go into a ring cold, you come out cold.
Jones closes the distance, able to retreat. Back to the center they go.
Good job of Jones throwing the flurry there and then immediately resetting his feet and getting composed. You can see some of the red marks around Taylor's midsection from those kicks.
Jones looking to pick his shots. Taylor matches it. First time with a little bit of minimal action, Eric. It's been all gas, no brakes throughout the entirety of the first hour of this show.
Ooh, big left hand there from Taylor.
Taylor clocks the chin of Jones. Jones backs up, but seems to be fighting back the best he can. Loading up once again is the fighter out of Northern Utah. Down is Jones. Taylor looking to close this one.
I was just going to say Taylor needs to put the pedal down because he had him against the cage, which he did, took advantage of. Jones back to his feet, though.
Taylor rips his way to get back to applying the pressure on Jones. Jones up against the cage. Jordan Jones, a stellar job at finding a way to get back up when he's in those compromised positions, Eric.
Yeah, and here he's getting his wits about him when it looked like he was rocked pretty well. He's getting an opportunity to get back in this fight.
Kick up the middle for Jones. Looks to land. Max Taylor breathing deeply out of the mouth at present.
Yeah, his mouth's wide open too.
Back in head hunting.
But he's back flurrying.
Jones staying stubborn. 50 seconds to go, round 2.
Jones looks like he's starting to breathe a little heavy too.
Lots of offensive output on both sides as Taylor continues to target the finish. Ringing the bell left and right, clusters of combinations, but Jones stays in the fight the best he can.
Jones's corner's yelling at him to engage more.
Huge overhand right.
Big right hand.
Hits the bullseye in favor of Jordan Jones. Didn't seem to waver the one-hit fighter whatsoever, though, Eric.
He blinked that one right off. We're about to see a third. I'd like to see somebody try to make sure they won this round right here.
Back and forth we go. Very interested to see what the scorecards look like right now. First half of that second round, certainly Max Taylor's, but Jordan Jones coming away with the latter half of the round. Eric, your thoughts?
I would lean towards Taylor in that round, just being busier, landing better strikes. There wasn't any grappling, so Jones did land that one big right hand, but other than that, he was pretty flat.
Gaining some traction, but still seems to be in front is Max Taylor. Again, slowing down the night a little bit. First 4 fights all ended not only in the first round, but within the first 2.5 minutes or so. Right now, Max Taylor headed into a third and final alongside Ammon Garcia and company. Jordan Jones trying to take as much in as well. Lots of information late in the fight, but Eric, as you would suggest, Jordan Jones potentially needing a finish here.
Yeah, I would think that he would be down here. If I'm Taylor's corner, I'm gonna tell him, control your breathing, try to get your wind back, and just come out and throw something hard and see what happens.
Both fighters searching for a shot. We saw a lot of this in round 2 as well, circling and looking for a prime position to throw. Loaded into that one was Jones, missed it. Taylor makes the most of it.
So Taylor, probably being a left-handed fighter, ought to lead with that left a little bit more. Like that.
It's almost like you can see the future, Eric.
Well, and again, I would be telling my fighter, throw that left down the pipe and then finish with a hook and then another cross, or double that cross up, same side, left and left.
Controlling the center of the cage is Max Taylor. Jones invests in the leg kick once again. Another sniping shot thrown by Taylor. That one doesn't land.
Big left. It was close, though. He needs a little bit more of that. We need a little bit of, somebody needs some volume here to try to walk this fight away or run away with this fight.
Both fighters seem to have wind back in their sails. Cardiovascular doesn't seem as compromised as it did headed into the top of round 2, I would say, Eric.
It's a good 1-2. Jordan just threw a question mark kick that almost landed. I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Jones able to catch the kick in on the inside trip, and now a pop from the Agema faithful with 65 seconds to work.
Good work at Taylor working his way back to the cage.
Jones trying to climb his way back up. Taylor able to jump up to his feet. Back to the standing exchange as we go. 45 seconds to decide this one.
Somebody's got to dig in and want this. I don't know how to score this at this point.
Just heard from Court McGee, show me something, speaking to Jordan Jones. You got to think a finish is necessary in order to get in favor of the judges here tonight.
You know, Jordan had the takedown in the first round. Depends on how the judges see that. Taylor definitely more accurate with the striking.
Taylor back to it, able to get out of the way of the attack of Jones.
You know, if Jones just got back to those kicks for the rest of this round, well, there's only 10 seconds. He could get some offense with it.
Putting everything into the final seconds. Max Taylor closes out this one. An interesting matchup between these two, but we'll have to see what the judges have to say. Hands on his knees after 9 full minutes of MMA action. Very different than the debut for the one-hit fighter, Eric.
Yeah, he still had that explosiveness, just didn't have the opportunity to land the clean shot.
Again, similar to like we were talking about earlier, Amin Garcia, one of his primary mentors over at One Hit MMA, Amin Garcia put on a classic last Saturday night as well.
Yeah, great fight, great fight.
Some conversing between One Hit as well as Agema. Jordan Jones seeking out, seems like Max Taylor. Max Taylor having a quick conversation with Fierce FC matchmaker Zach Partridge as well. Tyler Tomlinson seems to be ready as well in the center of the cage, is waiting on those final scorecards to be printed out. But all signs lead to Max Taylor getting it done.
I think Taylor was busy enough, definitely. The more I think back to the fight, I think Taylor had the better striking exchanges. We only really saw the first ground exchange, except for that second one. He wasn't able to hold him down. So,
all right, with the answer to that question, here is Jackson Hooks.
All right, Fierce fans, make some noise for the first fight that has gone to a decision this evening. Our judges score this contest 30-27, declaring the winner by unanimous decision out of the red corner, Max Taylor.
Max Taylor, that was very different than the debut. How did you feel in this second fight, man?
I felt a lot more present. First fight, the adrenaline completely took over. This one I could at least think a little bit about what I was doing. Yeah.
How were you able to conserve the gas tank? Because that first fight was only 69 seconds. This one obviously going the full 9 minutes.
I mean, I could feel it, that's for sure. I don't know if I conserved my gas tank at all. I was so tired when it came to that third round. I don't even know.
So I have to ask you, considering the flashy knockout you had a couple of months ago versus this one, which one feels better to get your hand raised?
Well, this one does for sure. I felt like it felt like war, at least. I felt like, I don't know, last one I didn't really get hit at all. This one I got hit a lot more, so I like this one a lot more.
Friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to give a thank you to?
Yeah, Amin, thank you for coming and cornering me, Jordan, my friends and family. Appreciate all of them. That's about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your winner, Max Taylor.
Hi, I'm Jason Laporte, Fierce Fighting Championship commentator and general sales manager at Performance Honda in Bountiful. We are the fastest growing Honda dealership in the state, and we have one of the largest certified pre-owned inventories in the state of Utah. Our service department has master technicians with over 100 years experience collectively.
Bienvenidos a Performance Honda Bountiful, donde los tenemos en español y les ponemos una sonrisa todos los días.
Visit us at 2215 South 500 West or performancehondabountiful.com.
Back in at Bear Lake, Blake O'Rulian, Eric Iman, just making our way through this card. Max Taylor found in favor of the judges, and with that, we stay at 170 pounds. Luke Sanders, Adam Easley will bring him out with a hot microphone. Here's Jackson Hopes.
All right, Fierce fans, our next fight of the evening is sponsored by 208 Lawn Care. Serving Southeast Idaho, 208 Lawn Care is committed to making your experience with a lawn care company easy and reliable. Trust that they are here to care for you and your landscaping needs. They desire to serve you in creative ways to bring life the vision of your yard with landscaping, lawn maintenance, snow and ice removal, specialized designs, water features, rock walls, light tree and shrub trimming, and much more. They craft picture-perfect landscapes season after season at 208 Lawn Care. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome our next two fighters, Luke Sanders and then Adam Easley, to the cage.
First walk of 2024, here is Luke Sanders. Eric, a new name to the Fierce Faithful, but a respectable track record under Marco Sanchez over the past few years.
Yeah, Marco's a great coach. I'm excited to see what this young man can do. He's got 2 wins and a loss, so we'll see how he fares tonight on his Fierce debut.
Luke Sanders broke his hand last year versus Daquan Barber, which required surgery, hence his first fight here tonight. But following a surgery, every fighter is chomping at the bit to get back in there as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you want to get in and tested, especially if you had to have a surgical repair. I have my right arm surgically repaired, and you wanted to get back in and see how it fares.
Luke Sanders, lightest he has ever been. All previous bouts have taken place at middleweight. This one to be contested again at 170 pounds. Made weight right at that weight class as well of 170. Again, Luke Sanders out of Rise Boxing. Works alongside Paul Longworth as well for his strength and conditioning. Been finding opportunities to get back in. And again, like you said, Eric, his Fierce debut here tonight. Also coming off of that win last December via decision. Just a win away from getting the win back in his sails. Enter Adam Easley. Eric, a guy who's competed for titles in the past with a strength of schedule as high as anyone's.
Yeah, he's got a lot of bouts. He's been busy. He's been busy for a long time, it looks like.
No, it's crazy you mentioned that because he has been at this for a long time. He made his MMA debut back in January of 2012 in Idaho. He's the longest tenured fighter of anyone on this card, AMI or pro.
Yeah, that's a lot of years to be working.
Adam Easley, a strength of schedule unmatched. His last 2 opponents' records have accumulated to 9-1. That 5-8 has been hard-earned for the Logan fighter. Let's go ahead and pull up that tail of the tape presented by Prime Labs. Adam Easley facing opposite Luke Sanders for this one. 6-year senior is Easley, 1 inch taller, will fly by way of Sanders. Both fighters coming in at the welterweight rim of 170 pounds. Easley with a record of 5-8, little bit less tread on the tires for Sanders at 2-1.
Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by 208 Lawn Care. This fight is an amateur welterweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, and when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 2 wins and 1 loss. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall and weighed in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Rise Boxing and Classic Fight Team, hailing from Houston, Texas. Fierce fans, make some noise for the Caveman, Luke Sanders. And Introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an amateur record of 5 wins and 8 losses. He stands 6 feet tall and weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Cache Valley MMA and Memento Mori MMA. Hailing from Bear Lake, Idaho. Fierce fans, make some noise for Adam Easley.
Adam Easley looks to jump back into the win column while sporting the red gloves, challenging as Luke Sanders strapped up in the blue gloves. This amateur welterweight bout is brought to you by 208 Lawn Care, crafting picture-perfect landscapes season after season. 208 Lawn Care, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Shifty movement by Sanders to open up. Easley lost his footing for just a second. Might subscribe to that slippery canvas comment you had a few minutes ago as well, Eric.
It's like they're filling each other out, trying to adjust to range.
Luke Sanders, primarily a grappler, 3 for 3 on takedown attempts last time out versus Daquan Barber, as Easley claps to the body.
Good body shot. Another good one.
Another one echoes through the park here tonight. That one caught by Sanders and immediately looks to lift off. Sanders trades a couple of knees, finds Easley on his back up against the cage. Easley still searching to pry off the Rise Boxing fighter. Another vicious couple of knees land as well for Sanders. Positional battle more than anything right now, Eric. What are you seeing?
Well, I'd like to see Sanders maybe try to get his right arm around Easley's underhook there and change levels. Or put his chin or his head under Easley's chin and try to change levels.
Couple of knees traded back between the two welterweights. Pressure certainly present on the side of Sanders. About 45 seconds to go, round one.
A lot of knee work.
Get a quick timeout by Tyler Tomlinson. So send Sanders over to one side. Couldn't see who was the one who landed the illegal knee. It looks like it. Eric, did you see it? It was right out of our vantage.
Yeah, I couldn't see it either, especially when they were exchanging them so fast.
Looks as though Easley's the one trying to shake off the cobwebs a little bit. Tyler Tomlinson to give a quick warning over to Sanders. Something we typically see when fighters trend to trade back and forth with knees.
Especially at that close quarters, it's hard not to. You have to make sure you're throwing them a little more round on the outside.
A little bit of blood dripping from the bridge of the nose of Easley. Sanders pushes back the Bear Lake fighter to the cage. Can hear the corner of Easley calling for wrist control. Eric, your thoughts on that?
That's smart. If he was controlling that right or Sanders' left hand, he'd have a lot more opportunity to get off the cage.
Make some noise for round one.
So through 3 minutes, Luke Sanders unable to land the takedown that typically has been his A game. Your thoughts on what he was able to do given the control time tallying up for him?
Well, from control, he's definitely winning. And the knee exchanges are great, but typically they score better for cage control. I think Sanders just needs to change levels when he's in there, be a little less concerned about the body lock and try to get down to a single or a double.
And I mean, we're talking about 13 fights versus 3 fights, a steep shift in experience tonight for Easley with 10 more fights than all of Luke's previous opponents combined, Eric.
And that could definitely be a factor, right? I mean, Easley may be stronger and able just to control the posture a little better.
Adam Easley was talking with Fierce FC matchmaker yesterday, Zach Partridge, saying, I'm back, and I am a whole different fighter. He's dropped his last 4 in a row, certainly looking to shake that trend here in this matchup as we head to the top of round 2. Straight into the Superman punch. Gets the local crowd in his favor. Sanders throws a looping hook, but hits air.
This is what Easley really needs to do, is just throw some bombs and keep Sanders on the outside and see if he can hit him with something.
Adam Easley, no wins by KO, 3 by decision, 2 by submission. As Sanders slows down the pace once again, clinching with Easley. Another couple of knees up the middle, this time in favor of Easley. Easley searching for that double underhook. Sanders fights it back.
His corner's looking for a body lock to try to change position like he's doing here. See what he can. They're jockeying for position. And I can hear Easley's corner, you know, the things that they're telling him is the correct things to do. He's going to have to execute that. He needs some space to create some offense.
Though he hasn't been able to take the fight down, Luke Sanders certainly has the control time completely in his favor, but Easley fighting back as much as he can, a couple of knees. Easley's corner calling for disengagement. Tough to do when Sanders pressured up against you, but certainly in the game plan for the Logan fighter.
Sanders is keeping some pressure on him, but honestly, Easley can turn out of this if he just spun to his right or reached his arm up to the right just like that.
Able to reverse the position.
And then they're back.
Just like you said, Eric, jockeying for it, under a minute to go, round 2. Quick uppercut and a foot stomp for Easley. Sanders doesn't seem to be bothered by it.
As loose as this clinch is for me, I would try to get my forearm into somebody's neck and create some space. Because even if nothing else, I'd be able to throw some harder knees than I am from a closer hip position. If the hips are, obviously the closer the hips are, the less damaging the knees are.
Adam Easley controlled for all but 37 seconds of his last fight, which lasted 5 minutes and 18 seconds. But trading back and forth, trying to find an opportunity as he looks to disengage. Another knee to the body lands as we'll close out round 2. More of the same. Sanders
breathing very hard.
Easley seems to be the fresher fighter coming into this third and final, Eric.
Yeah, control time for sure goes to Sanders, but Easley's definitely not breathing as hard, so we'll see if he can come out and take advantage.
Adam Easley coming off the longest layoff of his career since coming back to fighting in 2020, making the most of it here. Been to a decision 4 times in his career. We'll have to see if this will be the 5th in walk number 14. As for Luke Sanders, only time going to a decision was his last fight back in December of last year. And speaking a little bit about Easley as well, his fight style typically found favorable in the eyes of the judges. 3-1 win going to the scorecards. We'll have to see what they think of this performance as we head to the top of the third and final round. Back-to-back fights in which we could potentially see scorecards, Eric.
Sanders kind of running in with his arms out and his head down, isn't?
Blitzing forward. Unable to land much was Sanders. Easily waits for the closing of the distance. Sanders does so. Back to the well for both fighters. Easily now fighting for position and looking for potentially a body lock, Eric. Both of these fighters, I don't even know if it's necessarily that they're trying to get this necessarily to the ground. It's more so that they're both just content in the clinch.
Well, and Sanders here is really dictating this, I think. You know, he's just trying to control him against the cage, in which case, you know, he's winning by cage control. This is a smart strategy for him. There's not a lot of damage happening necessarily, but a lot of control.
More of what we've seen in the first 6 minutes. Reversing the position. And keeping his foot on the gas is Sanders.
Pretty impressed by this bare leg crowd. It filled out pretty nicely.
All over the cage, a cheaper general admission ticket as well, as the sun begins to set down here. Plenty of lights
chilly
as well. Cooling down a little bit. My media team, I was chatting with them, and they said, hey, you told us to bring a bunch of layers. It's super hot out here. I said, it will get colder, I promise you. Felt like a mother hen, Eric. Easily fighting for the underhooks now. Controlling the wrist the best he can. 50 seconds to decide this one.
Sanders, in my opinion, he really needs to break and throw some heat. He needs a stoppage. He's been ridden against the cage almost this entire fight.
Peppering in the shots is easily Sanders. Enters back with a couple of his own.
That one was definitely low. I saw that one.
Right in our point of view. A little bit of frustration out of Sanders as well. Already had a few of these. One for each, Eric.
One apiece.
And Eric, not only that, but we've been talking about it, the climate. I mean, it's sub 70 degrees out here. So when you do take that time out, the body gets colder. Again, there's only seconds left in this one, but that is something to take into consideration for the future fights.
To be honest with you, that would be my primary concern right now, would be to just get moving again. I never fought very good cold.
Both fighters searching for a spring in their step. Sanders right back to the game plan as he closes the distance. Knees are traded. Closing out that one. Nine full minutes between these two at 170 pounds. Adam Easley and Luke Sanders going the distance. Eric Hyman just stepped out of the broadcast booth for just a moment, but we will break down a little bit of this one. Tough to say. It's more so what the judges are looking for. We saw a lot of control time tallied up for the Rise Boxing fighter. Easily mixed up the weaponry a little bit more, but we see a quick embrace with Sanders and his coach, Marco Sanchez. On the other side, we see the local fighter having conversation with his coaches. We will see how this one fares. Again, like we talked about, Adam Easley, typically favorable in the judges' eyes, 3-1 when going to the scorecards in his career. As for Sanders, he is 1-0 as well, so neither of these fighters used to not getting their hand raised when we leave it in the balance of the judges. As scores are tallied up, Jackson Hoops, cage side, getting ready for this one. Really anyone's fight, but Luke Sanders, in great spirits, likely believes he's the one that got it done. We'll have to see what the judges have to say about that. Looks like we are just about ready to make it official. Jackson Hoop's taking one quick look at it, and we will lay out for him to make it official with the judge's decision.
Fierce fans, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge Stephen Farragher scores this contest 29-28, Adam Easley. Judge Dan First scores this contest 29-28, Luke Sanders. And Judge Rich Montanez scores this contest 29-28, declaring your winner by split decision, Adam Easley.
Adam Easley, you snap a 4-fight losing streak with this one. How are you feeling getting your hand raised after quite some time?
So I've always said, you know, I've always had great coaches. I've had great training partners. We train really hard. I dropped the ball a bunch of times just out of my, got in my own head, but this time I just decided, I wanted it, and hopefully I, earned back the respect a little bit. And I want to thank especially Ebony, my girlfriend, Cash Valley MMA, Memento Mori. Special shout out to Pierce, and that's it.
Bear Lake, your guy got it done. Adam Easley.
Legendary Roofing, Utah's first choice in roofing. Call us today for a free quote. We're happy to help you protect your home with our free inspections and affordable roof installations. Our trusted installers serve the entire Wasatch Front year-round. We have the best roofers in the business. Our teams give you peace of mind with our professional installations. We take care of you from beginning to end with speed and excellence in making sure your investment in the roof of your home is safe and secure. We're craftsmen to the core. We treat your home with respect and give it the care it deserves. We're serving the entire Wasatch Front with knowledge, experience, and purpose. We have the finest craftsmanship, best pricing, and face-to-face customer service because we're Legendary Roofing, Utah's first choice in roofing. Call us today. Legendary Roofing.
When cutting weight, you lose more than just pounds. You lose vital hydration. Rush Hydro helps me get back in peak condition after sweat loss leaves me depleted. It was specifically engineered for athletes like myself who need quick hydration recovery. This drink has a special ingredient, clusterdextrin, which is formulated to help my body retain electrolytes, use them more efficiently, and support lasting energy. When it feels like a race to rehydrate, Rush Hydro helps me perform my best. Try hydration redefined at rushhydro.com.
Scan the QR code on your screen right now for access to Fierce FC's digital program. Get the inside scoop on every fighter making the walk tonight, as well as additional information on future shows. Well, we're back at Bear Lake, and for anyone who is from this town, the talk has been all about this next fight. Micah Murdoch, Walker Pelto. We'll give you some more context on the other side of this one. Here's Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, our next fight of the evening is sponsored by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, with their goal being to provide safe, effective, high-quality health care for their patients. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital's internal vision is to be the most caring hospital on earth, perpetuating and fostering access to optimum high-quality healthcare for the residents and visitors of the Bear Lake area. They assume a leadership role in planning for the healthcare needs of the community, and they play a key role in the economic development of the area at Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome the next two fighters, Micah Murdoch and then Walker Pelto to the cage.
Well, with this walk commencing, history is made with Micah Murdoch. Eric, he fought just 7 days ago at Fierce Challenger Series 12. With the drop-off of Michael Pfeiffer, the madman steps in when Fierce needed him most.
Super impressive. He won by submission last week. Didn't have any injury, just rolled right back into it.
Overflowing activity for Micah Murdoch this summer. The fastest turnaround, like we said, just a week ago was in a different matchup versus James Prescott. This one, his third fight, Eric, in 82 days.
Well, and his 2 wins are by submission, correct? So he hasn't taken a lot of damage.
1 by submission, 1 win by decision, over Quentin Henderson. But like you said, Eric, he didn't take a lot of damage, only hit with 2 strikes in his 57 seconds of cage time last week. Also been targeting Walker Pelto for a little bit of time. There was a call out from what I have heard. I actually haven't heard it, but people have told me that there was a call out of Micah Murdoch to Walker Pelto. Sometimes we're putting out fires here on the broadcast side of things, so I don't necessarily hear everything in the post-fight interviews when I'm not doing them, but Micah Murdoch has been wanting Walker Pelto, and it's going to be in Pelto's hometown.
Well, hats off to him for taking his opportunity when it came.
Eric, I've got a crazy story for you. I've been waiting to use this one. Micah Murdoch, when he was a kid, someone stole his DS in middle school, so in order to get it back, he choked him out, and fast forward, he's now making his 3rd fight in 82 days. This kid loves to participate in any sort of competition in which you are throwing punches and kicks.
Well,
isn't that hilarious?
That is a great story. He choked him out. Great. Well, and that's how he won last week, right?
Choked him.
Oh,
he did submit him with an armbar, yes. Micah Murdoch, another name out of Agema, been the busiest gym here tonight. A stoic demeanor, similar to last week as he awaits Walker Pelto. Well, the dominant debut calls for a sizable step up here tonight for Walker Pelto. Eric, a standout in his first showing back in June, conducting 93% of the fight under his orders of control time.
I'm really interested in seeing how this plays out because, I mean, obviously we know Micah has a good ground game, right? So it's going to be, and with that kind of control time from Walker, also a wrestler who can dictate their control better, right? Like, is Walker going to want to ride on top? You know, and we saw Micah on his back a little bit last week, and he was great. So this will be interesting. Or does it end up one of those striking matches because they're both good on the ground?
Styles clash, back and forth battle awaits. But we're going to go ahead and pull up that tail of the tape presented by Prime Labs for this amateur middleweight bout between Walker Pelto and Micah Murdoch. Murdoch, 1 year senior at 20 years old, identical at 5'11" for both fighters. Pelto tipped the scales yesterday at 184.5 pounds. Murdoch at 183. Undefeated on both sides. Pelto with a record of 1-0. Murdoch with a record of 2-0. Crowd in the palm of their hands as we kick it inside to Jackson Hoops for what many would call the people's main event.
Fierce fans, everybody's on their feet. This is fun. This fight is sponsored by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, and this fight is an amateur middleweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an undefeated amateur record of 2 wins and 0 losses. He stands 5 feet, 11 inches tall, and weighed in at 183 pounds. Fighting out of Agima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Provo, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Micah Murdoch. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an undefeated amateur record of 1 win and 0 losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighing at 184 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Memento Mori MMA, hailing from Montpelier, Idaho. Fierce fans, make some noise for Walker Pelto.
Hometown hero Walker Pelto in the red gloves. A record-setting turnaround for Micah Murdoch stands across in the blue. This amateur middleweight bout is brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, protecting the lives of the people of Bear Lake for 87 years. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Walker Pelto trains just about 30 minutes north of here at Memento Mori, a newer gym to the west coast. Micah Murdoch takes the center of the cage immediately. Pelto searches for the takedown. He'll get it, and an eruption from the crowd in staggering support of the Idaho fighter. Head hunting as well, searching for it again as he'll mat him.
You know, I was thinking that Pelto looked like the more muscular fighter, at least, going into this.
Pelto immediately into the action, looking to isolate that arm on the other side. Transitioning well and peppering some shots from the top as well. Now searching for the rear naked choke. A little bit high right now, Eric, as he rides up to the top and changes position.
Good job by Murdoch.
Murdoch able to weather the storm. Been in a war. His debut was a back-and-forth battle with Quinton Henderson. Walker Pelto certainly matches that as well. Diving deep on an ankle. And now on top, Murdoch searching for some sort of a leg entanglement, unable to do so. Pelto sprawls out and searches for the neck. Pelto trying to find the high elbow. Murdoch defending the hands well. But Eric, this crowd about to erupt with another Pelto knee.
Murdoch able to reverse, get Pelto against the cage. It's been some great scrambles.
Pelto able to get his head out of the attack of Murdoch, and now searching for a trip of his own. But he'll settle with a knee. Beautiful trip, finds Pelto back on top. Back and forth we go in favor of Pelto. 30 seconds at the top of round one.
Pelto winds up in full mount. I'd like to see him create some space, try to get some ground and pound before the end of this round to cap it off.
Framing on the face is Pelto. Blew us away with a second round rear naked choke over Riker Wood. He was dominant like he is here tonight. Looking to switch over to an S mount as he continues to punish. Tyler Tomlinson safely gets the fighters to their stools. One-way traffic in favor of Pelto right now, Eric.
Yeah, Pelto dominating the ground positioning for sure.
Over in the corner of Micah Murdoch. Eric, your thoughts on what he might need to do in order to get something going here in round two?
My opinion is I'm going to go to the strikes. I'd try to keep him outside and catch him on as he's coming in. Micah just does not look like he has the at least the raw physicality to try to keep Pelto off of him. But he may have a submission in his back pocket.
We take a look over on the other side of Walker Pelto. He has been so active early on, searching for takedowns wherever the opportunity presents itself, but also having success on the feet.
Yeah, he looks great. He looks phenomenal, really. Hats off to him, and hats off to Murdoch. If he had a full camp and then rolling right back into this one on a 7 days notice, that's a tall order.
Again, Walker Pelto's first win finished out in the second round via submission. We'll have to see if that trend can strike again here. Tyler Tomlinson kicking off round 2. Murdoch looks for that overhand. Able to mildly land it. Pelto invests in the legs.
Kind of a little bit of a trip with that kick. That was a phenomenal body shot, left hook to the head takedown.
Murdoch now on his back, just 30 seconds in. Pelto right back at home in the guard of the Agema fighter. Echoes of Walker through the Bear Lake crowd. Some punishing blows from the top. Wanting to finish this one as quickly as possible, Eric.
Pelto swinging some hammers. Good work of Murdoch trying to use the cage to get back up.
Pelto on him like a wet blanket. Still not giving any room to breathe for Murdoch. Couple of punishing blows. Go
Murdoch's
ahead.
going to have a really hard time getting out of this with his head in that position. He's got to get his head up.
There's so much action going on, Eric, but I will say every time we've gone into town this week, everyone is talking about Walker Pelto. They know how special he was on the wrestling mats. It seems to be transferring well right now to MMA.
Yeah, it's definitely carrying over well. He's dictating where this fight's going.
Murdoch now chasing the back. We've seen similar positions. Chris Ventura, shades of that fight versus Eusebio Salis earlier on tonight, as Murdoch now finds his way to an advantageous position.
Murdoch can get his legs in here. He'd be in a good spot.
Pelto
needs to go out the back.
Murdoch able to regain his balance. 55 seconds to work, but this is the most light he's seen through 6 minutes, Eric.
Yeah, this shows Murdoch's dog in the fight, right? He's got his legs in. If I'm Pelto, I'm trying to turn towards him like so.
Pelto fighting to stay on top, able to get it.
This has been some of the most entertaining scrambles I've seen in an MMA fight in a while.
Murdoch with a slight glimpse of light. Walker Pelto erases it immediately and able to weather the storm. But for a second there, Eric, it looked like Micah might have been able to do something.
Yeah, he just missed the arm there.
Final seconds, close out with Walker Pelto punishing Micah Murdoch. Fans on their feet, Eric. Finally, we got a little bit of life in this crowd, really backing their guy Walker Pelto, who seems a little bit exhausted in their corner, but we jump over to Micah Murdoch.
You know, Micah's got the face of a stone cold killer, though. He just looks calm all the time. Obviously a little weathered. I'm interested to see how Walker comes out because he looks like he's struggling to catch his wind.
Again, uncharted territory for Pelto now going into the third round when he finished Riker Wood back in June in the second. Hopefully has not blown his wad when you're thinking about Pelto. But as for Micah Murdoch, he's been here before. Quentin Henderson, that was as back and forth and as close as a unanimous decision gets.
Yeah, so if this is very familiar territory for Murdoch, he may have an upper leg here in this last round.
Micah Murdoch, a spring in his step, jumping up and down. Excited for minutes 6 through 9. Co-main and main event coming up next. Still 2 fights to go, but certainly a main attraction in many ways with Walker Pelto in the center of that cage. Pelto, again, a 2A state wrestling champion back in the day in the state of Idaho. Pelto opens up with a head kick.
Murdoch's telegraphing that kick pretty far out. I'd like to see him use some hands and try to set something up. Nice calf kick by Walker. Another one, and he drops.
Pelto searching in on another takedown. Been quite successful. Don't have the live stats for you, but high percentage for the hometown hero right now.
Yeah, in my opinion, Murdoch's got to find a way to stop this fight. He's got to finish it.
Just about 2 minutes to work as Pelto fights to the top and now looks to dent once again with a couple of shots. Murdoch not staying stagnant on the bottom though, Eric.
No, he's trying to move. He's trying to get to a better position, but Walker's doing a good job of controlling hands. He's riding well. He's not putting too much pressure on him, so he's getting trapped under something. And as I say that, nope.
Pelto still throwing shots from the top. Murdoch rendered defensive the majority of this third round. And more so playing positionally, not necessarily looking for the submissions, Eric. Walker Pelto, couple of years of submission grappling, but primarily wrestling has been the base for him. As you see, looking to isolate an arm potentially, go over to that head and arm. Micah Murdoch picks up the phone, trying to separate the shoulder just a little bit.
I'm not sure I'd jump for this. I'd probably stay here and keep punching him because he's winning. But I mean, as far as the submission goes, if he can get his hips out, he's in a pretty safe spot.
Pelto in the guard of Murdoch, unable to be successful in that head and arm attempt. Under 30 seconds to decide this one. Again, potentially another decision matchup here on the main card. Pelto stands back up, punishes Murdoch in the transition. Under 10 seconds to decide it. Pelto positionally has been the lead man. And that will close things out. Eric, what a fight and what a showing for both of these fighters at 185 pounds. Walker Pelto seems to be a problem.
Yeah, Walker's definitely got a great skill set. I was really impressed with how he exchanged from striking to takedowns on a couple of those, and Murdoch just tough as nails. Was still trying to fight back, still trying to get after it, even at the end.
7 days notice for him. Comes more than happy to sign on the dotted line. Micah Murdoch, we'll have to see what the judges have to say, but Walker Pelto, arms up in the air, seems to have done the job as we jump back over to Micah Murdoch. And Eric, there's so much to applaud for just the ability to take 2 fights. Again, history made. No one in Fierce Fighting Championship history has ever done what Micah just did.
No, that's it's the first I can think of somebody doing it. Shows his heart.
We had to go back decades to when there were multiple fights in a singular night to where the Utah history found another fighter that had done this many fights in such a short span. Looks like scorecards are in hand of Jackson Hoops. Have to see how this one fares as we are right on the heels of our co-main event. But before that, we got to make this one official. We'll go inside to Jackson Hoops.
Fierce fans, Bear Lake, Idaho, make some noise for these 2 fighters. Bear Lake, Utah, maybe. Bear Lake, Idaho, Bear Lake, Utah. Fierce fans, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. The judges scored this contest 30-26, 30-27, and 30-27, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Walker Pelto!
Walker Pelto. Listen to that crowd right now, man. How does that feel?
Feels amazing.
Walker, your stock continues to swell. What do you feel like going into your third now potential fight? You're 2-0 right now. How do you feel in this MMA space?
I love it. It's something I'm always going to love. Pushes me to be better. It's just so fun.
What are the goals for you in the future? Because it seems like the sky is the limit for someone like you.
I'd like to hold the belt in the future, whether that be next year or year after. I want to hold it.
Any family, friends, sponsors you want to give a thank you to?
Yeah, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. My family and friends and just the whole Bear Lake Valley, they're awesome. And my coaches and everyone who helped me train, Lee, Shaden, Dad, Ebony, Adam, Justin, Devin, all of them. Thank you guys so much.
A rising star, ladies and gentlemen, Walker Pelto.
Fierce fans, we have 2 more fights to go. The
FST.
professional fights
Who
coming
is
up next.
FST filtration? What is FST filtration? You see, FST is more than a filter company trying to be cool. FST is a solution-based company in the heart of Utah, where hard work is embedded in its roots, and providing superior indoor air quality is our mission. FST has risen to the challenges that everyday people face. As new challenges present themselves, we too shall rise to the occasion. Manufacturing is the backbone of America, and our employees are the backbone of the FST. So when choosing your next filter for your home or building, don't choose any filter. Choose FST. Small business, family owned, since 2001.
Welcome back into Bear Lake. Back-to-back-to-back decisions for these fighters as we head into the co and main event here tonight. Both professional bouts, Vince Wright, David Maggio. We won't make them wait any longer. With that, we go to hoops.
All right. Fierce fans, our co-main event of the evening is sponsored by Cooper's Restaurant and Sports Bar. With their unmatched view, incredible food, live music, and best full-service bar from Park City to Jackson Hole, they offer full dining services along with pool tables and numerous TVs for your next game or for watching the fights after these fights for the after party. They are happy to cater your next event or to take your reservation at any time. Good food, good drinks, good people, good times at Cooper's Restaurant and Sports Bar. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome the co-main event fighters to the cage, David Maggio and then Vince Wright. That looks good.
Well, a short window to work last time out, but en route once again is David Maggio. Eric, still a submission threat with plenty of upside at only 28 years old.
I just am in awe of this lighting right now. This looks fantastic. I hope you guys are watching this. Good job, production crew. Anyway, back to the point. David Maggio comes from a great camp, from Horns Elite. He's going to have good submission skills. I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, an interesting trend here, Eric. All 3 professional fights, win or lose, have finished via rear naked choke. 89% of his fights as an amateur or a professional have ended via submission.
Well, we know where he likes to go. We'll be interested in seeing if Vince Wright wants to keep it standing.
Well, we've gone to 3 straight decisions. David Maggio only been to a decision once in 15 total fights. Statistically, we're probably going to get out of this one within the rounds, not outside of them. But very excited to see David Maggio along with so many of his talents over at Elite Performance. Andrew Boquette, Johan Rubio, Mike Jones, the pound-for-pound #1 fighter who just got a win at BKFC as well. Certainly plenty of prime bodies to work alongside David Maggio. Well, the last punch thrown made the masses take note, and now another shot on a fierce stage presents for Vince Wright. Eric, met with action in May and added to the highlight reel because of it.
Comes from another really busy camp in Utah MMA, coming from one hit, and also has a great list of training partners and experience coming into this. I'm excited to see this.
Vince Wright, his first time was at 145 pounds back in May, and maybe has found a new home given that it gave him the fastest finish of his career. His former opponent, Thomas Prestridge, subscribed to the step up in weight for Vince Wright. Interested to see how he fares against a veteran like David Maggio.
What was the? Sorry to ask, I should have done my research. What was the amateur difference in these?
3-1 amateur career from 2019 to 2022. Really quickly, we're going to go ahead and pull up that tale of the tape presented by Prime Labs. Vince Wright, David Maggio. Wright, 3 years senior. Both fighters stand 5'8". No issues on the scale for either party, coming in under the featherweight rim. Wright with a record of 1-1. Maggio with a record of 1-2. Just about ready to get us primed for the co-main event. Here's host.
Fierce fans, our co-main event of the evening is sponsored by Cooper's Restaurant and Sports Bar. This fight is a professional featherweight bout scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds, and when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter fighting out of the blue corner, holding a professional record of 1 win and 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighing at 145 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Jeremy Horn's Elite Performance MMA, hailing from South Jordan, Utah, by way of Green River, Wyoming. Fierce fans, make some noise for David Maggio! And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding a professional record of 1 win and 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighing in at 144 pounds. Fighting out of One Hit MMA, hailing from Sacramento, California. Fierce fans, make some noise for Vince the King Wright!
Kicking off the co-main event is Vince Wright in the red gloves. Back once again is David Maggio, fitted in the blue. This professional featherweight bout is brought to you by Cooper's Restaurant and Sports Bar. Good food, good drinks, good people, good times. Cooper's Restaurant and Sports Bar, home to the Fierce Challenger Series 13 After Party and an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Eric, I had to get the tail of the tape in, but I apologize. I cut you off. What was your train of thought on that?
I'm just curious about amateur records and experience that way.
Maggio, a few more amateur fights, but Vince Wright, certainly plenty of miles on him as he claps a kick to the body there.
Good body kick. Another one.
Another one echoes through the crowd, gets a couple of oohs and ahs as well. Maggio finds his way to the back like we were talking about during the walkouts. This is where he lives. a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. Vince Wright recently getting belted up as well.
Great job by Wright controlling the hands and reversing that.
Also of note, Vince Wright receiving his kickboxing black belt. But right now, David Maggio isolating that arm. Wright fighting his way through it. Plenty of positions for Maggio to work, fresh off of his back. Vince Wright looking for a way to get out of the sand trap right now, Eric. There's the tap. David Maggio back in the win column for elite performance.
Great finish. Fast scramble, transition from the arm right back to the triangle.
Well, it wasn't a rear naked choke. It was a triangle, but there was plenty of opportunities from the arm to many other options for David Maggio. He finds the win via submission here tonight.
Showing his diversity in his submissions.
Vince Wright in his own corner, certainly disappointed. Never the way you want to look after what was truly one of the highlights of the year.
Yeah. You know, and this just goes where he needs to do some retooling and some work, and he'll be back.
David Maggio about to move to 2-2 with another slick submission. Clearly his A game, and still finding ways to get his hand raised nearly 10 years in. Co-main event in the books as we will head to the main event on the other side of this one. Tyler Tomlinson ready to go as we will await Jackson Hoops in the center of the cage.
All right, Fierce fans, referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute and 5 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by a triangle choke, David Maggio.
David Maggio back in the win column, man. How does that one feel for you?
And I wanted to get this one back so bad. Coming off that last loss was humiliating, embarrassing, and so getting back in the winning column just feels amazing tonight.
How seriously did you take someone like Vince Wright, who's coming off of one of the flashiest finishes of 2024?
Hey, don't get it twisted. Vince Wright is a dangerous man, and I came in here taking him as serious as he needed to be taken. I was worried about him. I trained hard for him. Hats off to him. Let's give Vince a round of applause for showing up here tonight and putting on a good fight with me.
David, I gotta just can you walk me through that? Because you went from an armbar to you were going back and forth with a handful of submissions from that spot.
Yeah, so I took his back to begin with and started looking for that armbar. If you look at my past record, I love armbars, so started hunting that pretty hard. And I heard my coach, Jeremy Horn, yelling, the triangle's there, so threw it up, capitalized.
Back in the win column, ladies and gentlemen, David Maggio.
Hey Fierce fans, Kibble Davis here with Prime Labs. We are now the official lab testing partner for all of Fierce Fighting Championships fighters. We provide a combat trio for all fighters across the Wasatch Front, as well as if you want to get in the best shape like one of your favorite fighters, we provide many comprehensive blood panels. All you have to do is click on the link or text 385-645-7400.
Whether you're a fighter or just someone that wants to take charge of their own care and looking to address a lack of sleep, fat gain, or even muscle growth, Prime Labs has different panels for all financial situations. So please shoot us a text at 385-645-7400, scan the QR code, or please go to the website and come check us out.
Back in Bear Lake, Blake Arulian, Eric Iman. Sun has set. Temperatures are as cool as they can be. Everyone wrapped up in a couple of layers. 8 fights up, 1 fight to go. Cole Schaefer, Chris Chu for this one. We will kick it back inside with Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans. Our main event of the evening is sponsored by MJM Construction. Starting with building the first cabins in the Bear Lake area and continuing through 4 generations, MJM Construction has advanced and upgraded to bring you more services than just residential products. And it's one of the most unique companies that you will come across in the Bear Lake Valley. With more crews, more equipment, and more advancements, they are the guys to contact to get a tough job done at MJM Construction. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome our final 2 fighters, Cole Schaefer and Chris Chu, to the cage.
Final curtain call tonight, and back at home base of 185 pounds is Cole Schaefer. Eric, it's been 2 straight for the former Division I wrestler, wearing it well, coming into his 3rd walk in 11 months.
You know, he looked really good in his outing at UVU and in Heber, sorry.
No, you're good.
Up in Heber, he looked great. I think he's retooled some things and he's done some work. I got to talk to him a little bit. He's excited for this fight and he's got a pretty good game plan. So.
And when we're talking about Chris Chu, also another grappler, but when Cole Schaefer has strung together these 2 in a row, he's 7 for 8 on takedowns and a perfect 2 for 2 back in April. It's been on display as of recent, and he has been as effective as ever.
Yeah, he, long storied wrestling background. He strings them together well. He had some great success on his feet in his last fight too. So really looking well-rounded and looking to put his mark on.
Yeah, he added in those knees last time out. A really nice touch to the deep weaponry of Cole Schaefer. His first time back at middleweight since April of 2022. When he fought in Heber last October, it was supposed to be a middleweight bout, but it was bumped up due to his opponent unable to make weight. Either way, governing body will say 185 pounds for the first time since April 2022. Here is Cole Schaefer. Well, the cardiovascular was compromised, but 42 days was all it took to get Chris Chu back in the cage. Eric, a 3-round fight found Chu reaching his limits last month, but still acting on any opportunity that presents itself.
He's trying to stay busy, trying to expand. We saw him fighting Price, didn't we, last year?
Yes, we did, versus Andrew Mickelson. That was his only loss of his last 6 in a row. Chris Chu has been as hot as any fighter recently.
Yeah, he's been on a tear, and he's tough as nails. Him and Mickelson put on a hell of a show.
Been a busy year for Chris Chu. He's averaged a fight every 49 days, dating back to April of this year. Let's go ahead and pull up that tail of the tape for the final time tonight in this main event, brought to you by Prime Labs. Chris Chu, Cole Schaefer. Schaefer the older man by 4 years. Chu will stand 1 inch taller in that cage tonight. Chu tipping the scales yesterday at 186 pounds. Schaefer well under the limit at 184. Schaefer with a record of 5-3. A little less long in the tooth is Chris Chu with a record of 2-0. And Eric, like we were talking about, Chris Chu has been extremely dominant throughout. He's won 5 of his last 6 when we dip into the amateur stats. The only guy he has ever not gotten his hand raised against is Andrew Mickelson.
Yeah, and Andrew, one of the prime up-and-comers, he's looked fantastic as well. I'm excited to see this fight. There's a good skill set between the two of these. I know that Chu recently switched to the Amoria Academy not too long ago. It looks to be serving him well there.
Undefeated thus far. Let's go ahead and get the intangibles out of the way. Inside, let's go to Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, this is your main event. This fight is sponsored by MJM Construction. This fight is a professional middleweight bout scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Now, one more time, I need everybody tuning into the pay-per-view and everybody here at the Bear Lake Battle at the Border here in Garden City, Utah. Put your hands together and make some noise! Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding a professional record of 5 wins and 3 losses. He stands 6 feet tall and weighing at 184 pounds. Fighting out of Gladiator Fight Academy, hailing from Heber City, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for the Viking, Cole Schaefer! And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an undefeated professional record of 2 wins and 0 losses. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall and weighing at 186 pounds. Fighting out of Maury Training Center, hailing from Salt Lake City, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Chris Chu!
Protect yourself at all times. I will stop the fight. You guys have questions. Touch gloves if you want. Back up.
Busy schedule for Chris Chu in the red gloves. Utah veteran Cole Schaefer counters in the blue. This professional middleweight main event is brought to you by MJM Construction, experts with extensive experience and high quality work. MJM Construction, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Schaefer opens up with the striking. A bruising leg kick lands on the lead leg of Chu.
I talked to Cole a little bit backstage, and part of his game plan was to make sure he was throwing those leg kicks.
Really nice touch by you, Eric. Not opening up the game plan until the fight is going. Chris Chu clocks on the chin. And into the standing exchange as we go, as Schaefer targets the chin of Chu. Big overhand right connects for Chris Chu. Straight into the wrestling of Cole Schaefer, always in his back pocket.
Cole had taken a couple of pretty good shots there. It's good, I think, that he blocked him up. Got a little bit of a breather. Chu's really tough, really tough.
All 3 of Cole Schaefer's losses have come by KO or TKO, most recently in April of 2022. Investing in the body a little bit is Schaefer, but Chris Chu right now doing the damage in terms of the control time.
And he's doing a good job of reversing that cage position and getting Cole against the cage.
Chris Chu spent a lot of time standing in round number 1. That shot echoes out towards the park in favor of Schaefer. Making it messy in the phone booth are both fighters right now, Eric. A little bit of dirty boxing being shown.
This is really some great exchanges on the inside. They're being very busy. Chu was doing a good job going to the body, then going to the head.
Schaefer headhunts, retreats back to the center. A couple of vicious elbows land before they move out of that one. Chris Chu, incredibly durable, loops a right shot. Blocked by Schaefer. And back into slowing it down is Chris Chu.
Can hear Cole's corner asking for some elbows in these tight quarters. Good duck under.
Precise timing by Schaefer. Now chasing the back. Hasn't took him to the mat just yet. But Chris Chu fighting back positionally as well, trying to peel off those hands.
I don't know that Cole's end result here that he wants to go to the cage necessarily. I think he just wants to control Chu. As I say that, though, he folds him over. Right to side mount.
Schaefer tallies his first takedown of the night. 2 minutes to work in round one for the former Division I wrestler. Schaefer wrapping around the neck, not cinching it up, but more so just trying to stay atop Chris Chu as he'll reverse his way back over.
Nice reversal.
Veteran versus a rising star, no doubt about it here tonight. Schaefer been around the fight game for quite some time. Obviously the wrestling game much longer. Chris Chu more so splashed onto the scene around 2020. Chris Chu digging in deep, trying to find some mobility on the hips of Schaefer.
Chu getting his first takedown.
Certainly not the easiest thing to do versus a former Division I tournament qualifier.
Yeah, and Cole's doing a good job defending, so Chu's tenacity really showing through.
Very similar first round to what we saw last time out for Chris Chu just 42 days ago. His wrestling separates him from the pack, but Cole Schaefer right there with him as a couple of takedowns have already been scored on both sides.
I'd like to see Cole try to get up and at least finish this round in a better position just from a judge's standpoint, but Chu doing a good job of controlling him and doing a good job of getting some ground and pound in there.
Make some noise for round one.
So Chris Chu's first fight was a submission in the first round. Second fight went the full time. Again, that wasn't that long ago, just a little over a month, Eric. And with that, you've got to wonder how the durability is keeping up. But Chris Chu, as durable as anyone, he has gone through some of the toughest wars Utah has seen over the past few years.
Yeah, he's definitely tough. I've talked about it a whole bunch. I'm not the biggest fan of turnaround fight after fight. Sometimes you need a break. Sometimes you need to retool in the gym. But, Chu's looking very competitive here. Was controlling Cole in the last part of that round. So
Cole Schaefer heads into a second round, trying to get the lactic acid build up, separated a little bit. Again, his third fight in 11 months. Prior to that, there was quite a long layoff, and so he's been much more active from 2023 to 2024 than from 2022 to 2023.
Cole looks like he's ready to go, though.
Looks ready to jump at the gun. Chris Chu, his first time at middleweight since July of 2023. First time as a pro, a couple of catchweight bouts is where he's primarily been. But back to the center we go, top of round two of a possible three. Schaefer opens up with a popping jab. Lunging forward is Chu. Schaefer making him pay for it.
Nice reversal from Cole.
Schaefer with some more elbows in the standing exchanges. Haven't seen that before. We saw a lot of knees in April, Eric, but the elbows seem to be another new weapon for the Heber fighter.
Big overhand landed from Chu there, but Cole looks like he fared it okay.
Still has his wits about him. Chu finds his way to the clinch once again, but some blood seeping from that left nostril of Chu as Schaefer reverses the position.
Cole's doing a good job of keeping his head pinned against the cage, so he's going to have a harder time trying to reverse this. She's looking a little battered.
Been through a handful of wars. That last one versus TJ Kohler took just about everything out of him. I was actually shocked when this fight was made, given the quick turnaround, but faring well so far, about halfway through the fight, as Schaefer trickles in a few more shots to the body. On a wobbly foundation is Chu. Schaefer picking his shots well.
Chu looks hurt.
Trying to close the distance. Schaefer counters with a knee. Cole Schaefer following with exactness to what his corner just said, bringing him down to his head, able to do so. Schaefer, a new member of Agema. That's now his primary home in terms of where he's getting his reps day in and day out. Seems to be rendering optimal results right now, Eric.
Yeah, right to full mount. He's in a really good position. Chu does not look like he's enjoying life.
Schaefer isolating one wrist, positionally still with the advantages. Now framing on the face as well is Schaefer. He follows it up with an elbow.
Good work out of elbows with Cole. Cole utilizing the elbows here. Also in the stand-up when he had him against the cage, he was using some pretty good elbow work.
Couple of them unanswered at this point. 90 seconds left in this second round.
Another good elbow.
Another couple of bouncing elbows land for Schaefer. Chu in a tough spot, trying to find his way out from the bottom. But from what I have heard from so many cohorts at Agema, it is borderline impossible to get out from under when Cole Schaefer's on top.
Yeah, he's really aware of his body positioning. Has good weight. You look at how he's in a tripod here, working that elbow. He's looking phenomenal.
Chris Chu not going away whatsoever. Still actively and attentively defending everything from Schaefer, but Cole Schaefer just seems to be up in front right now as we head to the third and final round. Eric, your thoughts? A deciding edge in favor of Cole Schaefer right now. Chris Chu struggling to get back up.
Cole's got his arms up already. I mean, Chu, by his body language, looks like he doesn't want to be in there anymore.
Can I be honest with you? Tonight's been a little crazy. We've been putting out a lot of fires on other ends, but I thought the fight was over. I was like, wait, is the fight over? I swear that was just round two.
Well, and yeah. I mean, yeah, at the end of the round, it looked like it was over, at least by Chu's body positioning. He doesn't look eager to get up. I think if I'm Cole, I'm just going to throw a bunch of hard jab crosses and see if I knock him down and get right back into the position that he finished that last round in if he can't stop it. But
laser focused was Schaefer, as you saw in that frame just a few moments ago. Tyler Tomlinson giving a good conversation to Chris Chu, who puts his hands up and says, I am game for this third and final round here at Fierce Challenger Series 13. Cole Schaefer flirting with that 6-3 record. Again, Chris Chu already 2 fights this year.
Cole doesn't even look like he's breathing hard.
Optimal gas tank out here in northern Utah. Couple of shots, he sticks and moves out of the way of Chu. Schaefer, a perfect entry as we have seen so many times before. Chris True once again falls back to his back. Chris True searching for some submissions from the bottom, potentially an armbar here, Eric. As a slam will potentially tighten it up, as you've told me before in the past.
It can. There he goes. He pulls his arm out. Sometimes that locks it in. You got to be careful. Plus, there's a lot of energy wastage if you're deadlifting your opponent that way. But Cole definitely knows his business.
Shucks his way out of the attack, and now Schaefer back to an offensive position in top mount, or side mount, I should say, of Chris Chu.
Oh.
Devastating elbows. Chris Chu seems to be locked up.
Those elbows hurt me.
Certainly some weight behind them as Cole Schaefer getting creative.
Crucifix. It looked like he was going to try to isolate the arm, get him into a crucifix, maybe finish it, but this...
Schaefer walks his way up to the top. And now 3 minutes and 15 seconds to work. Well in front, Eric.
Transitioning back into full mount.
Another stinging elbow lands for Schaefer as he transitions.
Oh.
Oh. Stiff elbows to the face. Chris Chu keeps fighting back, but not much more of this can be taken. Tyler Tomlinson giving it a good look.
Cole's just smashing him with these elbows.
There's the finish. Cole Schaefer, 6-3, stringing together a nice streak for the fighter out of Heber, Utah.
Oh, just dominant position.
Hey. Chris Chu off of his back. If we can get a different angle, maybe show something that's not him, that would be great.
Chris Chu's still laying down. Hopefully he's okay.
Cole Schaefer seated down in his corner. Calm and composed, Eric.
Yeah, he looked fantastic. Wasn't breathing hard, controlled the positions in every round. Dominant elbows.
Laser focused throughout the entirety of the fight. He was that way at weigh-ins as well.
He looked really focused, and I talked to him about I talked to Cole quite a bit, and 3 weeks ago, he's like, I haven't been down to 85 in a minute, but the weight, he said, came off this week pretty easy, and he looks right where he should be.
Cole Schaefer, I apologize. From 3-3 a year ago to now 6-3, it seems like he has a fire back up under him, and clearly maybe could be contesting for some sort of a professional title in the near future, Eric.
I talked to Cole backstage after one of his losses last year, or the end of the year before that, and talking to him, I told him the same thing. I just thought he needed a little bit of a break, retool some things. Now he's down at Agema. He's definitely on the right path.
Cole Schaefer getting a handshake from his cornerman, Court McGee. 35 years old, looks just as good as he has been in recent years.
I just saw his little girl Charlie waving at him.
Cole Schaefer just about ready to move to 6-3 officially. I know it's off the programming right now, but Chris Chu is now back up on a stool. Seems to be getting his wits back about him. Not sure if we are going to wait out or if we're going to make it official. Looks like there's a little hematoma as well on the forehead of Chris Chu.
That's not a little hematoma.
It's a big hematoma. Yeah, I appreciate that, Eric. Yeah, 100%. But it looks like we are just about ready. If we can make this one official, We'll keep Chris Chu getting attended to by the doctors, but we're going to make this one official with Cole Schaefer and close out Fierce Challenger Series 13. Final time tonight, we're going to kick it inside to Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 24 seconds of the third round, declaring the winner by TKO, the Viking, Cole Schaefer.
Cole Schaefer, 3 in a row, man. How does it feel to get another main event win?
Oh, it feels great. Love it. Love you guys putting me on here and getting me in the shows. Beautiful Bear Lake, thanks for having us. Just nothing but pleasure to be up here.
Cole, again, just 3 in a row. You seem so dialed in and laser focused. What has been this shift in productivity from you over the last 11 months?
I got to give it to the gyms I've been training at. Dane and everybody down at Agema Court. I mean, they got a great room down there. Mike Jones is training there. Andrew Mickles is training down there. Steven Seiler's in there. Court McGee's training there. Marco Sanchez. Got a great room down there with a lot of bodies that are just trying to get into it, really reaching that next level. So they've really helped me dial in and get things moving in the right direction again.
Any family, friends, sponsors you want to give a thank you to?
Oh, I got tons. Dane, turn for me real quick. I got to use the shirt. Chris wore me out. He made me throw a lot of shots and wear some stuff down. So Banks Equipment Repair. Thank you guys. Ty Banks, he does a great job fixing all the heavy equipment. Gogan's Garage, Physical Fitness up in Heber. Right Moving Company, helped move everybody all over the state. Rack and Running Customs does embroideries and all the hats and that I wear. Arnold Plumbing and Heating, thank you guys. They're like a family to me, support me and everything, so they've been awesome. Damage Plan Insurance, you guys have been awesome, thank you so much. Hidden Peace Mental Health and Therapy. She's got her everything going up in Heber now. And then TMS Trees, Michelle Knight Realty down in Cedar. They did a great job helping me this camp get ready, helping me afford gas to go down and train, everything like that. So I appreciate everybody that helps me. They do a wonderful job. My dad for cornering me all this time for high school wrestling all the way through. Yeah, there's a lot of people. I'm probably forgetting a few. Thank you to Chris Chu for coming up here and putting on a show. Guy fought in August. He's a stud, tough as they come. I had to put everything I had into putting him down, so I appreciate the hell out of him.
3 in a row, ladies and gentlemen. Cole Schaefer.